Welcome back to the Eyes on Texas channel, your source of breaking horns news with video highlights. I'm your host, Alistair King, AK, and I'm back here with another video for y'all today. And what was the big event we had the other day? That's right, the 2020 NFL Draft. And what happened on that NFL Draft? The SEC straight dominated again, mopped up. They had 63 overall first-round draft picks, guys. Won again. They had the most picks again for the 14th year in a row. The SEC had more players drafted from their conference than any other conference. And how do they do it? It's very simple. They hit the recruiting path. They pound the pavement. They go to these schools. They watch their games. They get to know these kids. They do everything that they can to make sure that they are in contact and they go to their university. From the West Coast to the East Coast, down to Ohio, down to Central, the heart of America, they get in there and they do their recruiting. And who do they recruit? They recruit the top talent, the top level guys. They recruit the guys from the 300 of ESPN, the 24/7's top 300, the people that have the most eyes and ears on them, the people and the recruits that have the most information about them. Those are the ones that the SEC goes for. If you see these top level recruits, you're going to see the SEC's schools are all over them. You're going to see with the schools the likes of Arkansas, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Georgia. They're all going to be on their top 10 list. If you look at these top recruits, they're going to have 20, 25, 30 schools offer them, and many of them are going to be SEC schools. And how much did they dominate in the draft last year? This last week, how much did they dominate? Let's talk about that. They had 40 picks in the first 3 rounds alone. Out of 106 picks in the first 3 rounds, 40 of them were SEC players. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And out of these SEC schools, who dominated the most? Well, you know who it was. You watched it. I watched it. It was those LSU Bayou National Champions Bengals. They racked up 10 players in the first 3 rounds. And of those 10 players, they had 5 drafted in the first round. They had Joe Burrow, Mr. Heisman, Mr. I can throw 60 touchdowns. I can account for 60 total touchdowns in one season. They had Clavon Chason, should have gone to Texas, went to LSU. Oh well. I didn't want the Dallas Cowboys to draft him anyways. Very happy with our draft pick. Moving forward. We also, on that first round, we had Justin Jefferson. Great wide receiver again for those Bayou Bengals. We also had the best see-ball, go-get-ball overall linebacker in Patrick Queen. Go number 28 overall as well. And rounding out the top 5 for the LSU going to the first round of the NFL draft is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So who else competed with the SEC as far as top dog for most players drafted in 2020? Second was going to be the Big Ten with 48, very impressive number. Third is going to be the Pac-12 with 32. And rounding out the bottom of the top 5 big major conferences with 17 overall draft picks, the Longhorns own, your boys own, Big 12. So the SEC straight dominated, didn't they? They straight mopped up. They're the overall winners. They must be. They had the most players drafted from their one conference, right? Wrong. That's what I say. I say the overall winner is the People's Champ. I say the overall winner is the pound-for-pound champ. I say the overall winner is going to be the great state of Texas. Not the University of Texas. I'm not talking about my Longhorns, unfortunately. I'm talking about the state of Texas. Why do I think the state of Texas won this debate? Why do I think the state of Texas won the NFL draft here in 2020? I'll tell you. Although it be just one state, 34 players came from that great state. 34 players in one draft class came from this great state of Texas. We even had top-notch players as well. I told you as the LSU's top 5, let's talk about the great state of Texas top 5. Number 1, our best player coming out this year in the number 3 overall draft pick from Ohio State in South Grand Prairie's own SGP, Jeff Okudah. He went to the Lions. We had CeeDee Lamb, drafted number 17 overall by the Dallas Cowboys. We had Clavon Chason coming out of LSU, which I understand is going to be in the SEC, but he's from Galen North Shore from the Houston area. He's a Texas boy, so we're claiming him. We also had Jalen Reagor, played his college ball up there in TCU, came from Fort Bend Enkins. We also have Kenneth Murray. He was drafted number 23 overall. He's going to be from Waxahachie. Excuse me, Jalen Reagor went to Waxahachie and Kenneth Murray went to Fort Bend Enkins. I got those two confused. And how does Texas do it? Well, we got talent as well, guys. We got top talent as well. And remember I was talking about those top 300 players? We have those top 300 players. The past 2 years, the exact number of recruits that were ranked in the top 300 in the class of 2020 and 2021 were going to be from the great state of Texas. So we have the players to... The University of Texas needs to stop letting them get out of their own borders and get them to come to their university, but that's going to be another topic for a different video. Who do you think won, guys? Is it going to be Texas, only representing one state, having 34 players? Or do you think the SEC won? Who's going to have Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana? They're also going to have Tennessee pushing in, pulling in those numbers for them, pumping up them draft picks for the SEC. Who do you think win? Personally, I'm going to go with the People's Champ. I'm going to go with the Pound for Pound Champ. I'm going to go for my state of Texas. That's where I'm from. That's where I'm proud. We're very proud people from Texas. That's what I represent. But I do realize the majority of folks are going to go for the heavyweight champ. It's just too dominant. 14 consecutive seasons of winning the draft, guys. 14 consecutive seasons of having the most players drafted by any other conference in the NFL is hard to beat. Their sheer number of players for that amount of years is just hard to beat. I would understand who if you would take the SEC over say the state of Texas, but I want to know in your comments down below, guys, who's the winner? The People's Champ, state of Texas, or the SEC overall? Who do you got, guys? That's going to wrap it up for this one. As always, keep your head in a swivel and your eyes on Texas. Hook 'em up.